How important is it for you to have security in your life? Today I'll be talking about another cultural dimension from Geert Hofstede. It's called uncertainty avoidance. Before I start talking about this cultural dimension, I want to mention two more from Hofstede because I want to stop talking about the Hofstede cultural dimensions today. The two more that he describes in his work, one is long-term orientation, and it means in which way is a culture interested in long-term aspects, in long-term goals, or is it a short-term orientation? This means, oriented in only short-time results and so on. And one of the cultural dimension that he added only not too many years ago, it's called indulgence versus restraint. Indulgence means that people are kind of enjoying their lives. They take it as it is, and they have the impression that they have the freedom to express what they feel. I do not know if you know the books of Astrid Lindgren, the Swedish author, and she had a character, and it is called Pippi Longstocking. And for me, Pippi Longstocking is typical for indulgence because she makes life as she wants it to be, and she's enjoying it. And if a teacher tells her what's wrong and what's right, then she just doesn't mind. Where in a restrained culture, people have the impression that they have to stick to norms, to not be too far away from norms. And this sometimes makes it a little bit difficult to live. And if I've always the impression that I have to think of what I have to bear in mind to act correctly, then this is much more difficult in life. So coming back to uncertainty avoidance today. Uncertainty avoidance can be or low or high. In a culture with a low uncertainty avoidance, uncertainty is normal in life. It's also okay to have risks. If there is a risk, it's more regarded as a challenge. Okay, we'll have to find a solution for this, what we hadn't expected, but somehow we'll manage. Another characteristic is that what I do not know is interesting, maybe a little bit unknown and at the same interesting. So it's more that people like to explore things that they do not know. In a culture with low uncertainty avoidance, the orientation on laws is not very high. I remember when I went to Italy, and in Germany, it's really very important when the traffic light shows a red light, then I have to stop. And in Italy, it was really, as a pedestrian, I could think, okay, when I look to my right and to my left, and if I really cross the street at a red pedestrian light, that was kind of okay. Not so good, but maybe okay. But when I was driving a car and I was standing in front of a red traffic light, and the people behind me, they were blowing their horns because they wanted me to make go on the red light. That was, it felt really kind of weird and strange for me to really cross a crossing with a red light. So this is what can happen when different cultures come together. Another typical thing for a culture with a low uncertainty avoidance index is that they are not very much interested in long working contracts. So it's more, let's say, a hire and fire mentality. It's okay if I stay some month over here and some more month over there. People are not that very much interested in really having a really long-lasting experience with one employer. I remember when I was studying in the south of Germany, several people I got known to, they were working with Mercedes-Benz. And they could tell me that already her fathers and her grandfathers had been working there. So this is really an indicator for high uncertainty avoidance, because people really felt secure working for this company, not only for a year, but for generations. Yeah, so cultures with a high uncertainty avoidance, they are kind of afraid of uncertainty. It's kind of intimidating. So what can happen? And those cultures also try to avoid this uncertainty. Insurances are a proven method to be prepared or to have something against uncertainty. If it is an insurance when I'll retire, or if it's an insurance for my car or for my house, those are all measures to try to avoid this uncertainty. In a culture with a high uncertainty avoidance, things that are unknown, they are really kind of not looked at, and people really don't want to see them. And so if we can refer this to food, then people wouldn't like to try dishes that they do not know, because I don't know it, so I don't want to taste it, I don't want to try it. Better stay away from it. And as I've already mentioned, they are very much interesting in having a long working relationship with their employer. So what does this mean for your international teams or your international project teams? In my opinion, it's really becoming more and more important to know about these differences, these cultural differences, because at least here in Germany, we have employees, we have colleagues from so many countries from all over the world. And it's also much easier to connect to each other. So when I stream here in Germany, you can watch it in countries all over the world, maybe at a different time. And so it's really a good thing to know much more about other cultures. So when I have a team member with a low uncertainty avoidance, for them it will be kind of difficult to understand what is quite common here in Germany, that when a meeting starts at 10 in the morning, then people have to be present in 10 at the morning. And in a culture with low uncertainty avoidance, it doesn't matter that much. In a culture with a high uncertainty avoidance, it's kind of intimidating if there is something on the way to work. So if trains are late or if you have traffic jam, then this is causing nervosity. Whereas in a culture with low uncertainty avoidance, people don't mind. So it's kind of normal that you have traffic jam or that you have a strike or whatsoever. And this sometimes makes it difficult for people to work together. It also applies to works that have to be done. So, for example, if you have agreed that every team member delivers his input until a certain date, and countries with a low uncertainty avoidance, I would say that you can mostly be sure that they will deliver their inputs till the agreed date. Whereas in countries with low uncertainty avoidance, maybe they'll forget about it because they have a completely other understanding how to deal with uncertainty in their lives. It's not that I want to say one is better or one is not so good. The really challenging thing is to find agreements in your team, in your project team, so that everybody can be happy. For me, it's so important to start with a common understanding for other cultures. I really would love to hear from you what you already could use from what I've told you about cultural differences. I also would love to know more what situations you have at your workplace. You can always book a free call to just chat a little bit. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. You can also write in the comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube what your questions are as to this topic or maybe to another one. And I would so much love to know what are your concrete challenges at work at present, because I would love to, yes, to mention them. I don't want to mention the company, but I think that everybody can learn also from the challenges that other people are facing. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing you, to hearing from you, to reading from you. Have a great day and see you next week. Bye.